Time. Good evening. We will open tonight with our student fees hearing. Sheila, roll call.
Emily Garrick,
Present.
Joanne Lynn Green,
Present.
Cindy O'Connor,
Present.
Skip Altick,
Present.
Angela Blasey,
Present.
Matthew Peterson.
Present.
And we will turn some time over to Stuart to talk to us about our policy 5045 student fees.
Let me share my screen here really quickly. Part of the requirement is for all school districts to have a hearing on student fees, which is our policy 5045. In the KSP standard policy, they list all the fees that we charge. But what we have done is put that into a regulation. So as I work with Mr. Spatansky and Mr. Ayers in the future here, we can modify those fees based on what is needed in the classroom for certain activities, so we don't have to amend a policy all the time. So what you're seeing is mostly just wording clarifying what we have to do within student fees. And then part of our requirement too, and I've displayed it on the screen, is showing our student fee waivers. And so usually we have fees being waived in our activity tickets, possibly art, auto, band, and you can see all the various activities that we have within our activity fund. We have more than that, but these are the main areas that we do have fees being charged that students can request waivers. And then you'll see also on an activity account fee waivers. This year, currently, we have waived through the end of June, $7,154 for fees. And what we'll do is we will offset those costs with some funds to ensure that we're taking care of all the fee waivers. Now, if a parent requests a fee waiver, for example, on an activity ticket, they either have to have checked the mark box for free and reduced lunches, or we do have a form that they can request from the tech department or the activity offices, and we'll submit them to them so that parents can complete that. That releases some information so that we can do a fee waiver at that point in time. Any questions? Thank you.
And just a note, we will be needing to bring this policy back because there are some things that are in policy that will be like the community college fee and a couple of other things that we need to adjust.
Yeah, just some minor wording changes.
Yep. Okay. Or is there any public comment?
No.
Okay. We will close the hearing. And we will move on to the Americanism hearing. And Sheila, can you do a roll call, please?
Yes, Joanne Lynn Green,
Present?
Cindy O'Connor,
Present.
Skip Altick,
Present.
Angela Blasey,
Present.
Matthew Peterson,
Present.
Emily Garrick.
Present.
All right, we'll turn some time over to Vicki and Lindsay to talk to us about the requirements with American Civics.
All right, we are here to review the duties of the American Civics Committee. The school board of each school district shall at the beginning of each calendar year appoint from its members a committee of 3 to be known as the Committee on American Civics. Our committee is Angela Blasey, Cindy O'Connor, and Skip Altick. The action taken by the Committee on American Civics is divided into several parts, each of which refers to activities to be carried out by the Board of Education in compliance with State Statute 79-724. The actions stated in 79-724 to be taken by the Committee on American Civics are outlined on the document in numbers 1 through 7. On February 12th, 2024, we held the Public American Civics meeting where we described in depth how each of the actions in 1 through 7 are carried out in each of our K through 12 buildings across the district. With the addition of policy 6041, we did want to note that Malcolm X Day education and suitable exercises will be implemented during the 24-25 school year with that policy change.
The final step of meeting the requirements for the Committee on American Civics is to present the principal's statement of assurances. So at the end of every academic year, the principals sign off to ensure that they have met all of the requirements at the building level, of which we have here, all of the principal signed assurances. Those will be held on record here at the central office. And then the very last stage is that the Committee on American Civics, the 3 named board members, will sign off on those requirements that are outlined in section 79-719 to 79-723 in order to finalize our academic requirements for Americanism and multiculturalism for the 23-24 school year. And I believe President Lundgren has that document.
Yes.
And that's it.
Are there any questions from board members?
I would just mention that there is that multicultural piece to this statute as well. So we have identified the month of July at the Committee of the Whole meeting to provide a more in-depth multicultural report to the board. So on the 27th, we'll provide that to the board.
Okay. Is there any public comment, Sheila?
No.
Okay. We will close that hearing. Thank you. And now I would like to welcome you to the regular meeting of the North Platte Board of Education. I would like to remind you that school board meetings in Nebraska are meetings held in public, not public meetings. During the public comment section, the public may address the board on agenda items and other topics. The North Platte Public School District purpose and direction is to prepare all students to be productive, responsible citizens in a safe, caring, supportive learning environment. The direction is to prepare every student for success through high quality educational programs delivered by highly effective educators who use innovative research-based strategies in a safe, supportive environment in collaboration with family, businesses, and community members. Can we have roll call, Sheila?
Angela Blazy.
Here.
Matthew Peterson.
Present.
Emily Garrick.
Present.
Joanne Lundgren.
Present.
Cindy O'Connor.
Present.
Skip Alter.
Present.
And I will now entertain a motion for the, oh, nope, sorry, wrong one. The Nebraska Open Meetings Act, get that first, legislates the methods by which public meetings are conducted. Information pertaining to this act is posted in the boardroom. Now, I will entertain a motion to approve the publication of the July 8th, 2024 regular meeting of the Board of Education.
I'll make a motion to approve the publication of the July 8th, 2024 regular meeting of the Board of Education. I second.
Roll call.
Matthew Peterson.
Yes.
Emily Garrick.
Aye.
Joanne Lundgren.
Aye.
Cindy O'Connor.
Aye.
Skip Alter.
Aye.
Angela Blazy.
Aye.
All right, and now I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda for the July 8th, 2024 regular meeting of the Board of Education.
I
You go ahead.
move to approve the agenda for the July 8th, 2024 regular meeting of the Board of Education.
Second.
Roll call.
Emily Garrick.
Aye.
Joanne Lundgren.
Aye.
Cindy O'Connor.
Aye.
Skip Alter.
Aye.
Angela Blazy.
Aye.
Matthew Peterson.
Aye.
And I will ask everyone to please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And I do have one announcement. This was posted on social media earlier today, but I also was at the high school and had a short chat with Mr. Spatansky. But On Monday, July 15th at 10 a.m., they will be doing a grand reveal of the class of 2024 class project. So it will be really exciting if you can be there. So just wanted to make that announcement. We will move on now to the consent agenda. And on the consent agenda, we have approving the minutes of the June 10th, 2024 regular meeting of the Board of Education, approve the minutes of the June 10th, 2024 parent involvement hearing, approve the minutes of the June 10th, 2024 bullying hearing, approve the minutes of the June 27th, 2024 Board of Education Committee of the Whole meeting, and approve the minutes for the June 27th, 2024 board work session. And I know there's more. I know Angela and I did the claims audit. See if I can get my screen to scroll down that far. Okay, so that looks like all of the items on the consent agenda. So I would entertain a motion for approval of the consent agenda as presented.
I would move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Roll call.
Joanne Green.
Aye.
Cindy O'Connor.
Aye.
Skip Alter.
Aye.
Angela Blazey.
Aye.
Matthew Peterson.
Aye.
Emily Garrick.
Aye.
Okay, and we will move on to the monthly budget and financial report. And I will turn that over to Stuart.
I'm just getting this so that we can full screen. No, only on mine. How's that? First of all, in front of you, I just wanted to show you the budget compared to what we've actually spent through the month of June for all of our funds that we do operate under. And so you can take a look at the first page. Second of all, this is a sort of, oh, didn't go. Hang on, excuse me. There we go. The next one just sort of gives me a reference in regards to all of our funds that we do administer. Helps me look at the total revenue or receipts that we have in each fund, the total disbursements, and then the remaining fund balance that we have in each fund, balancing that with, as Stuart would refer in accounting terms, my balance sheet. So really, it's just a reflection of what I'm trying to do is making sure our funds are in balance as well as the revenue and expense of each fund. Third, I have the graph that I use. I have the report that I use for all my graphs, and I wanted to, Angela had a question last month in 21-22 why we had so much more in the other revenue. And that was from when we transferred the remaining funds from North Platte High School bond of $270,000 into the budget to cover the deficit that we were dealing with. So that's what that additional dollar amount was for. Then always I discuss our monthly cash flow. Actually, when we look at that, comparing our chart of graphs to the graph chart of cash flow, we can actually go back 2 years and then 5 years, and we're on the same trend we were previously. So positive sign, we're collecting more in property taxes coming in, which is roughly 60% of our revenue coming in for the district. On the monthly report, I just wanted to show you the expenditures by discipline, which when we look at instruction and special ed, which is direct impact on students, that's 61% of our budget right there. let alone then we start talking about all of our other services that we do provide within the district. Always showing a 5-year comparison of our asset allocation and then how much we expend in the general fund for payroll and our bills. And finally, on the various pages, and I'll just let you look at your leisure, the treasurer's report for each fund. What we start out with at the end of May, what deposits we collect during the month of June, the expenditures during the month of June, and then the net change as well as what we have in reserves for each of our funds. So it's just an opportunity, but I also want to reference that if you want a little bit more detailed review, please go out and look under the financial claims. And we do have the monthly financial report that details out more items such as our activity fund. And we discussed our fees on the student fee policy, and you can see all the activity accounts that we do administer. So just really quick. Questions?
Stuart, backing up to the expenditures by discipline. Can
Yes.
you, I don't know if we've ever discussed this. If so, maybe we just need a refresher. What types of expenses fall under the 3,000 category, the community service?
That's mostly within there. I can bring it up on this other report that I have under community service. We do have Kids Club. We also have all of our categorical private grants as well as our state categorical grants, such as our early childhood grant that we have to go under the 3,000. And then we also had, and it's 3,100. We had this year textbook loan with our private schools that we receive funds from the state and we administer back to them.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? All right, we have just a brief note legislatively, and I'll turn that over to Dr. Rhodes.
Well, just as a reminder, I don't think there's much to report other than, as we've talked through the last couple months, we knew that a special session was imminent. We know the governor has contacted the senators and has called them back on July 25th. And while that's not confirmed as of yet, we expect by the end of the week that we'll get confirmation that that's when the special session will begin. And just as a reminder, special session can only be one topic. I think we well know that it'll be property tax relief and related to that. And there'll be 3 days of that special session up front for bill introduction. So they have the 25th, 26th and 27th. Interestingly enough, about a special session, they call those on Saturdays as well. So that's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday for bill introduction. So I believe by the time you get to the end of the month, we'll have a pretty good idea of what those bills are going to look like.
Any questions? All right, we'll move on to public comment. Public comment, questions and comments may take place at this time in the agenda. Individuals who want to address the board must complete a guidelines for public comments form with the date, topic, addressing name, address, and name of any organization you represent and give it to the board clerk prior to the meeting.
I
Do
have
we
none.
have any comment? Okay. We will move on to our action items then. So the first item is to approve the board goals as they have been presented. And just as a reminder, this is something that came off of our board self-assessment and then the session that we did with Marcia Herring from the School Board Association. And so what needs to happen is we need to adopt the goals. And then after that, we will work to set the timeline, the action plan, the data that we would gather and evidence of progress. So today we primarily just need to discuss whether these goals are what we had wanted based off of of our 2 sessions and then hopefully adopt them so we can move forward. So is there any comments or questions? I can, so right now, and we can rearrange the priority level of these. Right now, the identified areas of growth for our board are advocacy, district resources and accountability and student achievement. And then we have some sub goals within those.
Are those like, are the goals priority leveled or are they, I mean, are those just the three
No,
we
no,
identified?
this is just, this is what were identified from our self-assessment. After we adopt the goals, then we can go in and determine what we want to work on first and set as our most important priority. Marcia is supposed to be getting back with me with some more information on how the rest of this lays out. I've been in communication with her, so, but the first step would be to adopt actual goals.
I mean, it looks like a pretty good recap of what we discussed and I think we'd mentioned previously that it seemed like the board was pretty much in consensus as far as what we wanted to focus on. I'm sure, you know, as we get more in depth into the specific timeline and action, those kind of things, we'll have more thorough discussions, but to me, this looks like a good, the goals themselves seem to be a good recap of what we discussed at our meeting.
Yeah, I agree with Matt. These were the things that I think we all discussed pretty much in detail and agreed on at the time. So I think they worked really well. And then later on, we can set up how we want to define how we are doing.
Do I have a motion?
I would move to adopt the goals as presented.
I second.
Roll call?
Okay, Cindy O'Connor,
Aye.
Skip Baltic.
Aye.
Angela Blazy.
Aye.
Matthew Peterson.
Aye.
Emily Garrick.
Aye.
Joanne Green.
Aye. And that passes. Okay, so now we will move on to the approval of the student handbook. And Mrs. Busher is going to come and talk to us about some of the changes that we need to be aware of.
Hello. So student handbook is always evolving and I talked with Dr. Rhodes about this earlier today. At some point, we may have to make changes as legislation changes too. The document we have here, I did take, I think I took over the handbook about 8 years ago. And back then we printed the handbook and that was kind of our primary source of information. And as we went through the handbook this year, we realized there's a lot of stuff in there that's on our webpage and it's redundant. So I did take some stuff out as far as pictures and different descriptions of who carries what title. And some of those things I took out because it's all on our webpage now. So we really don't need that in our student parent handbook. We also removed the Title IX policy because that is on our handbook and or on our webpage, and KSB recommended we don't need to have it in our handbook as well. So that took several pages out of our handbook. But I did replace that with the new complaint procedure, which is also aligned with our policy. The other changes we made, there is a section on firearms where it goes into some description of what is a firearm. And that's along with some of that new legislation around firearms and buildings. So that was added per KSB's recommendation. And then we also just made some minor changes to our attendance. That is also aligned with state statute, some of those changes with attendance.
Any questions? I had a question. So I was wondering if the counselor portion, is that updated?
Well, we had a late resignation with the counselor, so I saw that I needed to change that with one of our counselors, and then we needed to add the high school.
Okay,
Yep,
yep, I was
yep.
noticing. And then is Mrs. Ide also the counselor at Lake as well as the principal? Okay.
Yes.
I guess I wasn't aware of that, so, okay, or if I was, I forgot, so. And then, the only other recommendation that I had in looking at it is if the table of contents could be updated.
I saw that too, right as I just leaned over and told Mrs. Carlson, I said, we took out a couple things and they're still on the table of contents, so I will get those off. I think I've looked at this document so many times, I've gone blind to some of those things. So yeah, table of contents was off at the beginning where it talks about board of directors and then the directors. So we will get that changed.
So this, how is this delivered to our families, or how are they made aware of the handbook?
So it's online and then parents do have to scan a code that takes them to a link that says they've signed and read the handbook. So it'll take them to a link for the handbook and they have to sign off that they've read the handbook. So we obviously, it's a reference for parents to look at for rules and regulations. Again, in the past, it was kind of our go-to thing. We'd print out several copies, we'd have it at the school, and we just don't do that anymore. It's not cost efficient. And as much as things change throughout the course of the year, you print it out and then you have to change something and you're reprinting it. So we just keep it online for parents. There's a link to click on. We reference it a lot when we're working with families too.
And there's an alternate way if they don't have the technology or access to technology for them to be able to sign off on that.
Yeah, we can print a signature page for them and upload it into Infinite Campus if they don't have the technology, or they can come to the school and do it on a school computer if they'd like.
Okay. Has this posed any problems for any of our international families as far as like, have we had many problems with language barriers and understanding what's in our handbook?
Yeah, that's a good question. And I have not had anybody really bring up that. I think they probably sign it. I've not had anybody ask for a translated copy, but if somebody asks, we could sure get that for them and translate it. It's a good suggestion.
Okay. Any other questions? Comments? Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
I would move to approve the student handbook as presented.
Second.
Skip Baltic,
Aye.
Angela Blazy,
Aye.
Matthew Peterson,
Aye.
Emily Garrick,
Aye.
Joanne Green,
Aye.
Cindy O'Connor.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Mills, we will have you share with us any updates, changes to the employee handbook.
Absolutely. Thank you. Good evening to the board. Most of our changes in the staff handbook, it usually runs 75 to 80 pages. It's pretty standard. Most of all the changes have just been name updates, building principal changes, anybody that's moved to a different building, all those types of things. I think Stuart and Ms. Mraz caught the discretionary change. We need to change that in the handbook according to our new agreement. And then the last one obviously is that we'll vote on tonight on the student attire. That will make a change as well, that I have that ready to go if that does go through for that change. Other than that, all the rest of the things are updates from the past year.
All right. I just wanted to make a note that the updated dress code potential policy is included in the handbook. However, us adopting that and then it will be updated depending on the update, whatever is decided later with the policy, however I want to say that. So just because we approve the handbook tonight does not mean that dress code
Right.
policy is automatically
Right.
updated. So just wanted to put that out there for everybody. So, okay. Are there any other questions for Mr. Mills?
I was just curious so there's a couple spots where text was highlighted in red. Was that because there's been a change there, or just because those are highlighted pieces of information?
What page are you on?
Like the one I'm looking at right now is page 8. There's a paragraph that
Oh, yeah.
It's
that was
highlighted as red.
That was intentional. That, Emily, was done really a couple years ago to make sure that staff knew that when they had to sign. So
Okay.
that was intentional.
Perfect. I didn't see that there had been a change
Yep.
made there, but I just wanted to make
Good.
sure, since it was highlighted, that
It
there
was
wasn't
intentional.
something. Yep.
Yep.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Entertain a motion.
I move to approve the 2024-2025 employee handbook.
I second.
Roll call.
Angela Blazy,
Aye.
Matthew Peterson,
Aye.
Emily Garrick,
Aye.
Joanne Lingreen.
Aye.
Cindy O'Connor,
Aye.
Skip Alter.
Aye.
All right, and now we will move on to the request for approval of revised policies 2006, 2008, 2009, 3003.1, 3004.1, 3011, 3032, 3033, 3053, 3057, 4011, 4053, 5001, 5004, 5005, 5008, 5035, 5049, 5052, 6031, and 6036.
Nice job, Joanne.
And just a note, so these policies, these are recommended policy changes due to recent state and federal legislation.
Right.
The board members have had at least a month to review these policies, and we reviewed them. Dr. Rhodes went over each of them and the potential changes in our June committee of the whole. So you have required changes due to, okay, state and federal legislation. Do we have any questions for Dr. Rhodes, or do you have any additional comments?
No, I don't think I do. I think this is kind of what we have dealt with the last several years. And as I've spoken with some board members, when you have these big omnibus bills, more times than not, you're going to have a lot of different policy changes that will arise from those. So again, they came out of the 108th legislative session. They're required by law. So any of those changes with these existing policies were implemented in. What is attached for this evening do have, these are drafts, obviously, based on the vote of the board, but they do have a review date from the June Committee of the Whole with a revised date of July 8th, 2024. So they, based on the action that you take, these are ready to be uploaded onto our website.
I thought we discussed these pretty much in good detail at the Committee of the Whole. And plus looking at them over the last month. And it's something we have to do because either federal or state statutes dictate that we have to change. And some of them are just minor wording, while some of them are a little more in-depth. But I think we had a pretty good discussion, and they were explained in pretty good detail at the Committee of the Whole.
Yeah, I think the only thing that I wanted to just mention was, and only because I've had multiple people reach out to me with questions about the Title IX policy, and because of the issue with the state of Nebraska and how all of that's going to pan out. So I think just mentioning so people are aware, like at this point, we're federally required to pass this policy, but if something changes at the state level, then this would be something that would be brought back to the board for revision. Or
You are absolutely correct. And we do know of 4 or 5 states that have filed injunctions at this point. We believe Nebraska probably will, but they haven't as of yet. So this is what we have for our federal law. And again, this was under the advisement of school council that we make sure that we adopt and apply this Title IX policy.
Right.
And we'll probably be back a year from now revising some of these policies again.
I think you are correct.
I would move to approve revised policies 2006, 2008, 2009, 3003.1, 3004.1, 3011, 3032, 3033, 3053, 3057, 4011, 4053, 5001, 5004, 5005, 5008, 5035, 5049, 5052, 6031, and 6036.
Second.
Way to go.
That's all right.
Roll call.
Matthew Peterson,
Aye.
Emily Garrick,
Aye.
Joanne Green.
Aye.
Cindy O'Connor.
Aye.
Skip Altick.
Aye.
Angela Blazy.
Aye.
And that passes. All right, so we will move on to the request for approval of revised policy 4041, staff dress and appearance. I just would like to mention that I believe that we have pretty thoroughly discussed this topic at the June regular board meeting and the June committee of the whole. At the executive meeting that Emily, Cindy, and I had with Dr. Rhodes on Wednesday, we had some more conversation about this policy. And so what I am going to do is I'm going to have Mr. Mills present to us, and then if Cindy or Emily or any other board members, I guess, have any clarifying questions that you'd like to ask, maybe things to add from our executive meeting, maybe, and then we'll look at calling a motion. So, Mr. Mills.
Thank you, President Lundgren. I bring back to you 4041 staff dress and appearance. The change that we're requesting is certified staff, paraeducation, office staff should generally dress. It did state business casual, and we'd like to change that to smart casual attire that is clean and professional attire. And you can read the rest of it there. So we'd like to make that change from business casual to smart casual. Again, what does smart casual mean? Quick description of that. The big difference is during the pandemic, a lot of people obviously went to Zoom. The dress code went way down with individuals. And what that created, though, was people coming back to work and kind of mixing those two pieces together. So what we've defined is what should I avoid wearing dress code casual. So I think that's an important thing. So I've made a list here. Obviously, the big ones that we look at are the really heavy hooded sweatshirts, you know, those athletic sweatshirts with the pockets, the pull strings, the hoods. That is not smart casual whatsoever, nor are any type of denim that's torn, ripped, has holes in it, that's completely not professional as well. So what we want to do is have individuals be able to wear that comfort casual, you can't even say it now, smart casual, got too many terms, smart casual, and be able to include all the things that they usually include. Pants, obviously, again, non-ripped colored denims, chinos, khakis, or linen pants, skirts, tops, all of those things, shoes, all those things can be put down into the smart casual dress. So the big piece that we see over and over with the difference is we're still trying to make an impression. The impression does not go away. We're still making an impression, but it's smart casual instead of the business casual. They're very tied very closely together, but a big part of this is obviously we're not going to wear flip-flops or Crocs, things like that. So we want teachers obviously to be comfortable and to be able to do the job they need to do, but we feel that it matches our professionalism as we are now. I'll stop there.
Kevin, does this include blue jeans or just colored denim?
Colored denim.
And blue jeans, no?
Blue jeans, to me, jeans are jeans.
I think when we talked about it, we designated any worn, faded, tattered, torn, wholly frayed jeans in general, because we wouldn't allow that if they were colored denim. So we're designating the shape that garment is in, because you might have a dark pair of blue denim jeans that look as nice as a black pair of denim jeans. What we're eliminating is the faded, the worn out, tattered, frayed, holey jean is what is where we're drawing the line according to what we put together for what's in and out. Now, along with that, in terms of that particular garment, is pajama pants, sweatpants,
Right.
those different types of things. So we kind of all lump that in as the no. What is acceptable in terms of a pants is a nice colored denim garment.
Is there an example that you're going to give to the staff? I mean, are they getting some kind of a printout telling them?
Yeah, we'll put this all in the handbook. On,
Okay.
under 6, under attire.
That's specific.
I have most of it listed there right now.
Okay.
Yeah. So because again, that's a great question, Ms. O'Connor, because in our policy, teachers will model professional behavior with their attire. The administration may establish more detailed guidelines for individual employees that might be necessary. So I think that covers us as well, because then we have that piece where we talk to one individual and not as a whole, if there's an issue.
I think it's somewhat important that we define that particular issue in the policy. So after some further conversation, we kind of identified that I think where there was some discrepancy was particularly on colored denim. A lot of us assumed colored denim was included in business casual because I think that's just kind of standard. I think most of us up here do that. Probably most of us in the audience do that, and we consider that business casual. But by definition, it was not. And so I think that even those of us, I'll speak for myself, I am not in favor of blue jeans being worn in the workplace as professional attire, but I see absolutely nothing wrong with colored denim. There is a distinct difference for me as far as how dressy something looks or casual. And so I think that for me personally, I won't speak on behalf of anyone else here on the board, that would be a make or break as far as my yes or no vote on the policy itself. So I would probably, once we have a motion on the table, I may move to make an amendment to this to include that language. I'm very open to what others on the board think. And I realize I may not be in the majority, but that to me is a determining factor of whether or not I would approve or not approve.
I agree with Emily on that. I'm just not for I mean, we did talk about the colored jeans, but I think we also discussed the blue jeans not being in that.
Well, and one thing that, I mean, I agree with you guys too. I can definitely see dressing up a pair of colored denim. But one thing that this is nothing to do with the trust that we have in the teachers. Like, our teachers are so amazing. Like, I swear we've got the best in the state. And I think we all will agree with that. Like, we've got some amazing teachers. And I heard from over 400 people between the Telegraph, Facebook post and the bulletin and my personal one. Teachers reached out, and we definitely want you happy and comfortable, and we want you to do your best, regardless of what you're wearing. We trust 97% of people. Unfortunately, that 3% of the people are the reason we have directions on shampoo. So we also have to think about that. And if that's not being taken care of now, currently with our administration, it's more of an administration issue, not really a dress code issue.
So one of the thoughts I think on the blue jean language specifically was just the color blue. So because you could have potentially a light blue, that's not, I think we get to the part where we're kind of splicing hairs a little bit. So I understand what you're saying as far as the look of the jeans, and and I think that's what they're trying to get at with. I mean, because you wouldn't even want like a faded red pair of jeans or a torn pair of red jeans or, you know, and so I think that's what the administration is going for as far as more of the color and like the fading or the distressing or the tearing or the worn. And not focusing on so much like the color itself.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I think what Dr. Rose explained is to me, it's more about the condition, not necessarily the color or style or anything like that. And at the end of the day, I still go back to, I mean, we need to have faith in our educators that they're going to be professional, and this still requires them to be professional and present in a professional manner. We have the safeguards in place where we have some language in here that if a teacher's abusing it, there's direction and ways to correct that. And so I don't think we need to get into specifics about what colors or things like that. I think we just need to, if we're going to approve it, we approve it. We don't, then that's where it is. But I don't know that we need to get into specifics about defining what types of jeans or things like that.
I agree with Matt, and wholeheartedly on all of that. And secondly, and I talked about this the very first time this came up, we have the enforcement aspect in there by the administration, principals, superintendents, HR, whomever, it is there. And the other thing is after our committee of the whole, we got the results of the NPEA survey, which was overwhelmingly in favor of this. I mean, we're not talking 60-40, we're talking, some of it was over 90%, the others was all, you know, in the 80%. And if I had been wavering on it, that would have swayed me right away. Because it does show that we have some trust in our people and they would like to have this, so.
Well, I think the other thing to remember too is that I'm looking over this again. I mean, the policy that we're approving is the change in the language of smart casual. The policy itself doesn't get into the specifics. So really what's in front of us is whether or not we want to approve the language of smart casual.
Right.
From there, then we have handbooks and discussions from the directors and administration about what that means. But that's all that's in front of us right now is whether or not we're approving the language smart casual.
I agree, but language is important. So when we approve a policy, we're setting the parameters by which the handbook and those things are set. And so it is important that we consider what the definition of smart casual is versus business casual versus, you know, other language that has been presented, because that is our job as the board, is to make decisions that affect the entire district. And I do think it's important to define what those terms are, and that does change my opinion one way or the other. And so, I mean, if we're not going to define that, then that's okay, but I would not personally be in favor of it as presented.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and make a motion at this time to approve the revised policy 4041 as presented.
Second.
I would make a motion to amend the language following smart casual under section 1A, item 1, to read smart casual with the exception of blue jeans outside of special occasions.
I second.
Now to the discussions on the amendment. Only on the amendment.
So discussion on the amendment.
I think we probably already discussed.
Probably call vote on that.
Okay,
For my clarification, Sheila, can you read that back? The motion to amend?
No,
Can you
Because it's
repeat that,
recorded.
Emily, please.
Yes, so it would read smart casual with the exception of blue jeans outside of special occasion, or it could read designation if that
I
maybe
think
makes
it's
more
outdated.
sense. Yeah. my thought while we're on discussion of this, before we call that to a vote, my thought for that is that gives the district flexibility to, there are definitely instances you've got field trips. You know, my mom is a second grade teacher. She takes her kids fishing every year. Jeans make a whole lot more sense on that day than professional attire. That would leave things open for Fridays, for work days, for, you know, celebrations, for whatever that may be, spirit weeks. I think it would still give us opportunity to say, in situations, that's okay, but it's maybe not our go-to default. So that was my line of thinking for that.
And it still adds like colored denim in for the rest of the week. if one is for
Yes,
color.
it's still more lenient than what we have been being technically on paper.
I call the question on the amendment.
Roll call.
Emily Garrick,
Aye.
Joanne Lynn Green,
Nay.
Cindy O'Connor,
Aye.
Skip Altick,
Nay.
Angela Blazy,
Aye.
Matthew Peterson.
Nay.
And that fails. So. do we
Now
go
we're
to
back
the
to,
original
now we are
motion?
back to the
To the original.
Matt's moving
on the-
to approve this, yes.
And I would call a question on that.
Roll call.
Joanne Lynn Green,
Aye.
Cindy O'Connor,
Aye.
Skip Altick,
Aye.
Angela Blazy,
Nay.
Matthew Peterson,
Aye.
Emily Garrick.
Hey,
And it passes. So, looking at the future board calendar. We have, Angela and Dr. Rhodes will be on Mugs in the Morning tomorrow morning. Then we will have, the board members are participating in distributing food at the food pantry at the high school. The recommendation is that we be there at noon to help unload the truck. And then, food distribution starts at 1 o'clock. And there's also an opportunity for us to see the high school food pantry. After we're done with that. Then board candidate workshops that are coming up. The budget workshop is coming up on July 16th, from 10 to noon.
It's next Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
Week from tomorrow.
And then we have our committee of the whole on July 25th. And we'll just go to that point, so.
And then can I add real quick, because
Uh-huh.
Terry wasn't able to be here and we didn't have her on the agenda, but just a reminder, she wanted us to remind that July 26th and 27th is our Bulldog weekend. July 26th is the evening of excellence, where we'll recognize the distinguished alumni. It's a 30-year anniversary of the foundation, so it's a speakeasy theme. Ticket sales will support scholarships for students, and there will also be an auction. It'll be online and live. That'll go live on July 15th, and that auction will support various programs. And then on July 27th is the Bulldog Golf Classic with the Booster Club and the foundation, and that's at Lake Maloney. And I believe that there's still spots available for that. So registrations for both those events can be on the foundation website.
do we know on, so I have on my calendar, it's not on here, but August 8th, the back to school event, is there a time period of that day that the board should reserve? I've got
For that
some things
reminder,
on the
I will
schedule.
get out that agenda to the board.
Okay.
I'll have that go out in the weekly update.
Thank you.
All right. Can we have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Roll call.
Skip Altick.
Aye.
Angela Blaze.
Aye.
Matthew Peterson.
Aye.
Emily Garrick.
Aye.
Joanne Lynn Green.
Aye.